Hey y'all. I wanted to chat with you on here tonight while I am straining some calendula oil that I have infused. And I want to talk about body care products because I think this is something that maybe we don't talk about enough. But if you've taken a class with me before and heard my story, then you know that my herbalism journey actually started with taking a look at the products I was putting on my body. This was parallel with me changing my diet, but really in the early days, I was hyper focused on the external because it's before I learned how much our skin health comes from our internal and digestive health specifically. But back in 2008, I remember reading these articles and I immediately went and got a big trash bag and I took all of my shampoo, conditioner, toothpaste, lotion, makeup, soap, everything, body wash, and I threw it in the trash. And I didn't know, I didn't have a plan, but I knew that after reading some of this stuff that I was absolutely not going to put that on my body. It's horrifying. That's what started me on the path of herbalism because the first things that I prepared with plants were lotions and shampoos and toothpastes and things to replace what I had thrown away. The process of making your own body care products is so simple, and you can use ingredients like the base ingredients are high quality oils, raw apple cider vinegar, beeswax in some of the preparations, and then herbs. And then things that we add to the herbs can include like clay. Um, so it's really simple and it's really accessible because a lot of these ingredients many people already have on hand for cooking. In a lot of the toothpaste, for example, I use cinnamon a lot and I just grab the cinnamon powder from my spice rack and that works. If you already have avocado oil or coconut oil or beef tallow on hand, then you already have the base ingredient for so many things. Many products are the base is just an herbal tea. So if you have water and you have dried plants, then you can start to prepare some of these body care products. But why do we want to do this? Like, what matters? And I just wanted to share some of the ingredients that are legal to be in our body care in the US. It's kind of scary. So parabens are one thing, and you've probably heard this, and these can be listed on labels as things like methylparaben, ethylparaben, propylparabens, and they're technically preservatives. So they're intended to prevent microbial growth, but they can also disrupt our endocrine system. They can mimic estrogen in the body. This can lead to reproductive issues. This has been linked to breast cancers. And these are things that are found in things like lotion and shampoo and deodorant. We can talk about phthalates, right? This is something they add in for like texture. It can be listed as DBP, DEHP. So a lot of these ingredients, when we read it and we're like, what is that? What do those letters stand for? This shows up in a lot of fragrances, hairsprays, lotions, and these are also linked to endocrine disruption, so reproductive issues. There's even potential links to cancer. Phthalates can be listed on an ingredient label as just fragrance, and that's it. That's legal. When you see the word fragrance, you should immediately not buy it or throw it in the trash because fragrance is a blanket term that legally companies are allowed to list a whole number of toxic ingredients as. So I would definitely be aware of the word fragrance. Now, the next ingredient is formaldehyde releasing agents. So you might see this listed as like DMDM, quaternium, things that I can't pronounce, also known carcinogens. These can create skin allergies. They can cause skin irritation. They can exacerbate asthma, and especially with repeated exposure. So if you do have sensitive skin, if you do have a sensitive respiratory system, you could be putting these things on your bodies that are just making it worse. And these could be found in like body wash and nail polishes, things like that. Another one is trichiosin or trichiosin. I'm not going to pronounce any of these right. Triclosan. Basically, my rule is if I can't pronounce it, I'm not going to buy it. So this is found in antibacterial soaps. It's also found in some toothpaste and deodorants. And Again, linked to hormonal disruption. It's also linked to bacterial resistance. So, contributing to these antibiotic resistant bacterial infections. And the FDA has put some bans on this to show up in certain products, but it's still allowed in many personal care items. So, that's terrifying. We don't want that in or on our bodies. The other one is polyethylene glycol compounds. These are listed as PEGs. These are often contaminated with other compounds like ethylene oxide, 1,4-dioxane, dioxane, and these are known carcinogens. They are linked to cancer. It's been scientifically studied. They cause skin irritation as well. You can find this in lotion, cream, hair products, and they can also create a situation where the other chemicals are more easily absorbable into your skin due to how they work in the body. A few other things to be wary of are sodium lauryl sulfates and any of the sulfates. These are foaming agents that are used in like shampoos and toothpastes. They are skin and eye irritants, also known to be contaminated with carcinogens. Repeated exposure can actually damage the lipid membrane of the skin cells. So you're contributing long term to increased dryness, increased sensitivity. And the irony is that like we're using these things that are labeled, moisturizing shampoo, but they have things that are drying us out, that are destroying our skin. And these are also linked to liver toxicity. So no thank you, pass on that. If you see synthetic fragrance, artificial fragrance, even just the word fragrance, even if it says natural fragrance, it's not regulated, okay? So this can contain any number of phthalates, again, endocrine disruption, reproductive toxicity, hormone-related cancers. They can contain volatile organic compounds. So again, that has a neurotoxic effect. It impacts our central nervous system. Even natural fragrances can contain synthetic ingredients. Okay, so natural fragrance, we don't know what that is. That doesn't mean that it's natural. It's not a regulated term. It doesn't mean that it's made of herbs. So I would avoid that at all costs. The other things that I want to talk about is lots of times when we switch out our body care products for the more natural versions, what we're getting in those natural versions are high levels of essential oils. And you might say like, well, aren't essential oils good? They're made of plants. Okay, well, how essential oils are made is that it's through the process of steam distillation. And what's happening is we're taking a high concentration of plant material and we are boiling water under it, allowing the steam to evaporate off. And as the steam evaporates off, we run it through cold so it condenses, right? It separates out into oil and water. The oil that comes off is the essential oil. Those are known in phytochemistry as volatile oils. And the water that remains is a hydrosol. So you might see hydrosols sold. Hydrosols can be pretty nourishing. When we extract a single constituent of any plant, we are not receiving the plant's whole medicine. That plant is made up of hundreds and thousands of phytochemicals. And we have now extracted one of them. We've extracted the volatile oil. So anytime you take one plant constituent out of context, it changes how it works in the body. It can become, just like it says, volatile. It can become harsher. A lot of the compounds that might mitigate its harsher effects are removed. And therefore, we have a very highly concentrated chemical constituent. And essential oils have been linked to endocrine disruption. This is especially true for things like lavender and tea tree oil. There are studies on how young girls who are exposed to lavender essential oil on a consistent basis are starting puberty at a younger age. So it's leading to high levels of hormone disruption. The oils are phytoestrogenic. They inhibit testosterone, right? So this would also affect young boys. For this reason, and the fact that essential oils can be highly irritating, especially topically. A lot of people have allergic reactions to them. It can lead to dermatitis. It can create a chemical burn. Sometimes they're not properly diluted. Sometimes the oils are not pure. They're not made from the plants that they say they're going to be made from. Ingestion can be toxic. It can cause nausea, vomiting, seizures, things like this. And it can even, on a long-term basis of being inhaled, create respiratory issues. And I know a lot of herbalists use essential oils. I personally do not use essential oils, and I do not put them on my body. It is not worth the price of disrupting my endocrine system. So I'm already doing a lot to try to balance my own hormones and to support my body's optimal function. And the way that modern society has taken essential oils and put them in everything and on everything, and then we use them all day, every day, if we're, switching out for natural products, it's not a healthy amount. I do think there is too much of that. And so you'll find essential oils in your natural deodorants, your natural toothpastes, your natural shampoos and soaps. And if you're really aiming to live a purely toxin-free life, if you're wanting to only put things in and on your body that promote optimal cellular function, I would say limit your essential oils. Maybe save them for, something that you really need it for. And we can do another video on that if you want me to. Let me know in the comments. But when you're opting for natural products, try to opt for the ones that aren't scented. That's your best bet. When you're making things at home, you can make your own infused oils that have beautiful aromas. There are ways to extract the fragrance. So I often use lavender. I use rose to create a delicious smelling product. Pine needles make an amazing smell. Vanilla beans, spruce tips. So there's a lot of ways you can still get fragrance into your product, but you can do it in a holistic way where you're working with the entire spectrum of plant constituents. So I'm just going to give you a little hint here at how easy it is. So I have placed calendula flowers here in my jar. And when I first did this, I put a splash of 100 proof vodka in there, shook it up, let it sit overnight. The next day, I filled it to the top with a high quality avocado oil. Now it's a month later. I'm ready to strain out this oil. So I'm going to take my mesh strainer and I'm going to have this beautiful golden calendula oil. And I use calendula oil as the base for all of my lotions, my lip balms, my creams. Even you can make a simple calendula salve. I add calendula oil into my herbal deodorants. You can use calendula oil as a hair oil. So there are so many ways to then work with this very simple preparation. And if you want to learn more about herbal body care and how simple it is to make it at home with ingredients you might already have in your kitchen, then I'm offering an online course. It's an hour-long class on next Thursday, a week from today, November 14th, and it will be at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. And I'm going to go over the basic preparations for herbal body care. You're going to leave with 5 of my favorite recipes for making your own body care products, and I'll just walk you through the process. So if you can't attend that class live, it's going to be recorded, and all registrants are going to get a copy of that recording to watch it at your own convenience, at your own time. So if you're interested in that, it's only $25. You can head over to my website. It's schooloferthandawe.com. I'll post this in the details, and /herbal body care. That's going to get you right over to the program registration page. And if you have questions about any of that, just drop me a comment. Thanks for watching, y'all.